That was probably the quickest streamer start ever. Ladies and gentlemen, today is, oh my gosh, August 1st, 2013. And this is the KNKL Show, episode 92. I always want to say day. Episode 92, continued, where we are going to be finishing up the cover for Emma, issue 2. And we're going to be having a lot of fun. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through all of the time lapses, right? Every single one of the time lapses. And I am just going to speed them up really quick so we can do a quick overview of everything from the beginning to the end, right? And then I'll show you myself just a couple little tricks that I like to do to finish up a picture, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into that. So I got the time lapse here, and basically what I'm going to do, what's really cool about this player is that I have complete control and I can speed it up and go even faster, like that. Or I think, oh yeah, it does make it go faster. Oh wow, and it continues. That's so cool. Anyway, so yeah, guys, I wanted to say thank you very much for tuning in throughout the last couple weeks. I really hope that you guys were able to learn something throughout just watching me go through every single step from the very beginning stage to the end of creating a picture. Now I know that it's not so much, we could probably do another like one of these where we take it to like the finished like splash painting thing, and I'd love to do that sometime, but again that's a whole nother painting style. And well, yes and no, it's a whole nother painting style. It's like there's a whole nother step to it, right? Because with comics and cartoons, it seems like you can get away with having your lines showing. You don't have to like really perfectly render out all of the materials and all that stuff. And I personally don't like doing that kind of art. It's fun every now and then, just as a like variety, right? It's like, hey, I've been doing cartoons and comics this whole time. I like being able to do it, step aside and be like, okay, let's do like a realistic painting. That'd be really fun. But it's not my preferred style because I'm so ADD, right? It's like it takes so long for me to do one of those paintings that comics is just like, oh, well, I do one panel and then I can move right on to the next one. It's like a new picture. So, and I think I've said that before. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Let's go even faster, right? Work faster. Don't you wish you could just do this like professionally? Be like, let's go. Let's go, 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 right? So yeah, here is, over here, the final, or this is working on the final image that we were going to have for the comic. And originally it was going to be like Emma with a toothbrush. She's like this, right? And I thought that would be pretty funny, but I wanted to do something a little bit more serious, right? Because this comic is supposed to be more badass, right? We're introducing the biker gang, introducing the marauders, and this comic must grab you by the throat and then headbutt you into opening it, right, and reading it. Much like Tank did to Jimmy. So, and if you haven't read issue 2 already, I do apologize. I just spoiled it for you. But you can go and check it out right now. You shouldn't be watching this if you haven't read it yet. So anyway, let's go ahead and finish this. Continue speeding this up. Speeding it up. Alright guys, so once we got that final idea, you can see we put it right over here. And oh yeah, this is the next process actually. We haven't chosen the actual layout yet. This is still me experimenting with trying to get a good 3 thumbnails, right? 3 thumbnails ready. Because I believe personally 3 is like the magic number when you're working in like professional type stuff or anything, right? When I was working at Riot, I would come up with, you know, just like 12, 20, as many just like quick ideas as I could, and then I try to dial it down to 3 that I really, really like, that I feel like you could choose any 3 of them and they'd all be good. So, and it just kind of came down to preference, and maybe one was stronger than the other. And yeah, that was basically it. So 3 is the magic number. 3 is a crowd, and 3 is good. So I'm just going to go and speed through this. Basta. Basta. I actually don't know if it continues. Actually, I'll go ahead and skip to the next one. It looks like it is. Looks like it is speeding it up, but I can't tell. If it is, I've sped it up quite a bit now. But anyway, this is me just refining. This is the next step where you just refine your thumbnails right here. And you can see this is just line sculpting, right? I'm not worrying about drawing the character necessarily. I'm working with shapes. And this is something that I think really, really helps you to save time, right? This is what kind of separates the regular artists from the artists that work professionally, right? The artists that work in the industry just know how to get it done quick, right? And I think the biggest thing, the reason why you even put lines on a piece of paper in the first place is to eventually have shapes at the end, right? So that's why I like to talk about building your thumbnails with shapes as opposed to drawing the characters and then like filling them in and all that stuff. You can draw a little bit, but really focus on silhouettes and all that good stuff. So you guys picked the thumbnail that we went with, and that was this one, obviously. So now we're taking the sketch, and now we're doing, basically we took that sketch and we lowered the opacity of it, okay? And then now we're making a layer over top of it, and we're creating sort of like a cleanup stage, a cleanup sketch here. Making sure I'm not missing any questions here. I feel like I have to talk fast because of this thing is like going fast, but I forgot. Like, if you want to watch these a lot slower, you want to watch them all in a row, you will have watched the other episodes prior to this. So I don't want to take up too much time either. So I'm trying to find that good happy medium. And in the meantime, please, I would invite you to cast any questions over the castle walls that you may have, and I can answer them as we're watching the time lapses over here. I feel like my voice has gone a little bit too. I don't know what the deal is. You guys say the funniest things. You guys say the funniest things in the comments before the show starts. You guys are so funny. I was like getting ready. I was doing like a pre-show thing, and there was like some stuff on my bed. There was that thing on my bed, right? This thing right here, and I was like, what is this? But you guys took that. You couldn't see my face, right? So one of you said, "Oh, he's inviting us to his bed with him." Like, oh my god, freaking crack me up. You guys freaking crack me up. So funny, so naughty, so naughty. Naughty, naughty things. Okay. Yes, these are anti-time lapses, right? Usually I work a lot faster. I slowed this down. I slowed this down so you guys could see what I'm doing. Working at about like 1/20th of the normal speed here. Alright, so we're speeding this up because you guys know what happens here. Just cleaning up, just setting up lines, and really defining the final look, right? Defining what these bikes are going to look like. Defining that bike chain, right? Defining what kind of tire it's going to have. And yeah, that was really, really a lot of fun. It was a good challenge, like making the motorcycles and stuff. I surprised myself with how well I was able to kind of nail the perspective on these. I was really, really happy. Yes. God's bless Michael Marino for teaching me how to do perspective while I was at Riot. That's Iron Stylus, by the way. It's so cool. He's like when I first started working there, we sat right next to each other, right? And he was working on stuff, and I was just here, and he was really, really talkative, right? I was kind of, you know, like minding my own business, doing my own thing, but he was constantly talking, constantly. So he was really, really friendly. And slowly but surely, I warmed up to him. And then I started talking. Then I started talking way too much. And no, he wanted me to leave him alone. But then, yeah, it's just like we talked to each other just about like art techniques, and we helped each other out. And it was a really, really good experience. I really miss everybody at Riot, and I made a lot of good friends there. So, yes, people are asking about my brushes. Yes, I'm now linking my brushes all the time down in the description. For the people that want to get them, they are on the Knockworst account on DeviantArt. You can just download them there, get them, use them for whatever you want, and you know, all that good stuff. Speed it up, even faster. Even faster. I wonder how, can I see how fast this thing's going? Oh, 3 times. Oh, I think it does reset each time it plays a new thing. Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay, so let's go 3 times. Let's see. But yeah, all the brushes, you can get them for yourselves. This is what I'm using right here. If you do have them, I like to do my lines with the renderer brush now because it just has a little bit of texture in it, right? A little bit of texture, and it's a lot nicer looking than just the regular hard round brush. But yeah, that's the way I like to do that. Now what I'm doing here is, this is what I call line cleaning, where basically I'm taking the lines and I'm just like redrawing And I guess you could call it, this is sculpting the lines, kind of shaving off the edges and really, really defining what we're going to see there. And just making sure that it's clean. And this is different from what I do in the actual comic, because in the comic I would take this, and I would lower the opacity on this, and then do another layer, a third layer over top of everything, and that would be the final lines. But that is not the case here. It's not the case at all. Because the reason why I like to do this is because it's a lot easier to paint over it, and I like to do a little bit more of like a painty style for my covers and a little bit more like an artistic type thing going on. So I found, like back when I was doing the metal slug thing, when you start to paint over the lines and they're not like thin, when they're kind of like use the thick Reptar brush, it doesn't look very good. That probably doesn't make any sense for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, but it's just the renderer brush works better than like a texturized hard brush, you know what I mean, for doing like paint overs and coloring of the lines and stuff. But I still do want to go back and finish that metal slug picture. I don't like leaving things unfinished. That is one thing I've been trying to do lately, is finish the things that I started. That includes books, art pieces, maybe. I got metal slug and I got Maokai. I know I got to take care of those. So yes. Oh yeah, let's speed this up. Speed this up. Cleaning all this crap up. You guys know what's going on here. Let's go to the next one. Alright guys, so the next part of what we're going to be seeing here is me doing masks. Masks is very, very fun and again, time consuming, because I've noticed a big thing about my art nowadays is that it seems like 90% of it is just setting it up. 90% of it is just setting up, and then you go into doing these color comps, right? And this is again, setting it up. You create the masks and then you go back to the sketch, create the color comp on that, so you don't mess with the final piece and everything's all clean and you have to make it all nice. You know, just do some paintings over here, do some experiments with color, and then choose what you want. Or in case you guys choose what you want. Pikachu's what you want. And so yeah, we ended up going with the first one over there. And now you're going to see me transition into, once we have a choice, see, we look at the colors, and it's really easy for me to just take that, drop it in to our clean lines and clean masks, and then all I'm doing is literally I just start eyedropping. That's all I do. And I'll slow it down here because this is the part that you haven't seen yet. So yeah, basically all of the masks, everything is just clean and ready to go, right? And it's really easy at this point. This is what all that setup was for. This is what all that tireless, boring line cleaning, masking, all that stuff, now it comes in handy, because now that you have a finished color comp over here, it's very easy for you to just eyedrop, slap stuff in, and then just start painting. You can see I'm literally just pulling colors right from here and slapping them down straight down here, and then I'm blending them, you know, adding some texture. But for the most part, all of the colors are right here, so all I got to do is just make the final piece look like that. And it's really easy. So I really would like to encourage you guys to try that out. Try out doing color comps for your works the next time you're creating your masterpiece, right? Don't experiment with the colors in the final piece, right? Because it's just it's so hard to do it that way, right? Because I really feel like it just has this feeling, it's like everything is clean, and it's just like everything has to be perfect, right? But if you go back to the sketch, you just do like some crazy sloppy little paintings, and you come up with something like this, and it's much easier for you to see the final vision, right? It's just like, yes, those are the colors that I want to have there, and then that makes it really easy for you to translate it over to the final product. So yeah, and the other thing that I really like doing is keeping my lines on a separate layer, because what I'm doing here, you'll notice, is I'm just locking the transparent pixels with this little button right here. This is your magic button. See, pointing over there, straight down there where my mouse is. That's your lock transparent pixels button. And if you do that on your lines layer, then you can simply just go over and just paint the lines. That's how I made these lines up front blue, and then I made the lines on Tank and Emma. They're on a separate layer, and I just paint those kind of like an orangey color. And it automatically like knocks them back, makes them appear like they're kind of in the background, right? A little bit of a second read in a sense. So, or maybe they're the first read, but it just kind of like makes it not so stark. It makes it feel like they're part of the background, and it makes the bikes feel like they're closer to us, as well as the zombies. And yeah, now you can see me. I'm just putting this guy looked like a werewolf, so I ended up changing this. I was like, he's got like some fur going on there. I should probably trim that off. But yeah, I just went ahead and flipped the whole entire canvas upside down to make sure I was getting the zombies looking right and all that good stuff, putting in the teeth. And yeah, another thing that I ended up doing was I ended up redesigning the Emma logo, because once all this was done, it looked really, really clean and good. And I went back later, and oh, I want to talk about this really quick. And I'll finish talking about the logo in a second. I want to talk about what I'm doing right here. These are J.J. Abrams lens flares, as somebody pointed out, and that's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant technique, or brilliant naming device. And I'll show you guys how I actually did those right there. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do. Pretty princess easy to do. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking today. I feel like my voice is a little bit gone. I feel like I'm a little bit out of rest. I was up late last night. Yeah, doing good stuff. So yeah, forgive me for my bumbling and stumbling. But yeah, I'm just kind of throwing on some effects there, kind of cleaning stuff up. And then as we move into this final part of the time lapse, you'll start to see me doing some paint overs. And this is where I go above everything, right? Above the lines, above the colors, above everything. And I'll start blending things. I'll start just like painting things. And the reason I do this is because, in fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next one, because I don't think I do anything except for just mess around with the lighting in this one. Yeah, I don't. All right, so going to the next one. All right, so what I'm doing here is a couple things. First of all, I actually designed the Marauders logo, as you can see there. But I was trying to like warp it and make it look like it was on the flag, but it didn't look good. So what I ended up doing is just putting it there, and then I just ended up just drawing it on, because I felt like it looked more natural. It looked too like silly. It looked weird. Like everything else is hand drawn, and then you have like this perfect logo, just like slap it on there and just like distorted. It looked really cheesy. So I just decided to paint them on there. And I liked it. I liked it very much. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is moving into the paint overs. And the reason why I start doing this is to soften. I like to soften the lines, and I start to, oh, I'm doing one more thing over here. I forgot the teddy bear, right? I forgot the teddy bear. So I had to make sure to put that in. You'll see me working on this for a little bit. I was like, maybe like a hockey stick or something. I was trying to figure out the right angle to put the bear in. So yeah, he's going in there. And yeah, I'm actually kind of painting in this stage too. But the reason why I do this for the third time is I like to kind of condense shapes. I like to start to condense like shadows and shapes all into one little bit. And I like to add in highlights. Like you'll notice that right there, that little thing right there, that's above the lines, that highlight of the motorcycle. And this is what painting over is for. It's just like adding those tiny little effects. And it's really not that much more work, as you'll see in the end. It's just kind of like defining little things, bringing out certain shapes, making sure that the motorcycles are reading properly. And yeah, just adds a little bit. It's like that last little spice, that little secret ingredient you throw in at the end. And I really like doing that. And I feel like it's super easy to do paint overs when your lines are colored like this. Because literally you can just eyedrop that blue, that's the color of the lines, and then you just kind of like blend it out, right? And it just kind of like creates an interesting like illusion, right? That it's like the lines are there, but they're not at the same time. It makes it look less cartoony and more believable. It's like realistic cartoony, I don't know, rendered cartoons. So yeah, like Roger Rabbit. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so you'll see me just doing this. I actually ended up losing a little bit of the footage at the end, but that's fine. I'll show you the things that I did to get to the final piece of art there. And yeah, the only thing that I really did was I did some sharpening on the ground there. You'll notice that it's still just kind of brushed in. And I'll show you how to do that. It's kind of like a little trick that I do to make things look like they're done. You know, it makes it look like the things are just like really detailed and really done, but really it's not that much more work. It's like just putting like a sharp edge on stuff. It's really cool. A little trick I learned back in I can write games. Raw games. Alrighty, people, so that's the end of the time lapse. Close it up. Close it up. And let's go ahead and pull up Photoshop. So now you can see everything else that was added in was the title. We got the little logo up front. We got the ISBN barcode down there and all that good stuff. So the things that I want to show you are just the sharpening of the textures. I want to show you how to do the J.J. Abrams lens flare. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll start with the J.J. Abrams lens flare because that's pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the stuff in the front. Now let's go ahead and go to the lighting. Alright guys, so check this out. This is how you do it. It's actually very, very, very simple. So all you have to do this is you'll have the color of your lights. And you'll notice that I didn't actually color the lights red. I colored them like this light orange. And you might ask, why did I do that? Well, when you take a red light, this is sort of like a little bit of a trick and just kind of the way that lighting works. And when it gets overexposed, when a red light gets overexposed, it has a tendency to like cycle through orange and then it goes yellow, right? And then the bloom effect, aka the glow that you'll see in a photograph of it, that will be red. But as it goes towards the center, towards the source, it'll turn more yellow. So this makes the lights look a lot more hot when you do it. Okay? So let's go ahead and move in. First thing we're going to do is create a layer over top of whatever you want to make glow. And then what I did was I took the chalk brush and then I took this and I think I chose kind of like a pink, like a slightly pink color. So, oh, let me make sure you saw that. So yeah, like that. That's what you want. Pick sort of a pinkish color. And then you're going to go over here to your little layer thing. I'm going to make this smaller so you can actually see it. Oh, I think that actually works perfectly. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go right over to your layer style or your layer properties thing, and you're going to go down to hard light. Okay, click the layer and click this little drop down thing, set it to hard light. And now you'll notice what you're going to do, what you're going to do is you are going to take your chalk brush, or you can do it with any brush, you just have to make sure it's a straight line. And what you're going to do is you are going to hold shift as you do this, and you are going to drag from left to right. Is that brilliant or what? Oh, jeez. Let's try that again. Don't let go of shift, otherwise you'll muck it up. And you can press a little bit harder, you know, to kind of get a little bit of a thing like that going on. Oh, jeez, why is it? Okay, one more time. Third time's the charm. It's a little bit laggy. All right, so there's one. And I'll make it a little bit shorter for this one. And behold, you can now direct Avatar. And all those other things. And Alien Resurrection. No, that other crappy movie. Prometheus, yeah. Behold, you are now the director of Prometheus and Avatar. Alright, and it's just that simple. That's how you create a lens flare like that. It's just a straight line, and the important thing is that you just hold shift while you do that. And what that does is it forces your brush to only operate on a straight line. So basically just allows you to do that really quickly. And then I kind of just come back in and I'll erase the edges, you know, kind of so it comes in. It's kind of like a gradient going out. And that's it. Like, I love doing bloom. I think it's really addictive. Like, another thing that I like to do is just take a soft brush. I'll just kind of like softly, you know, touch whatever it is that I'm looking to make a bloom of. Like, I think I did a soft bloom. I was going to do another J.J. Abrams bloom on this light back here, but it looked weird, like having 3 of them. So I just made that one have a slight glow on it. And that's it. There you go. That's the ticket. So next what I want to do is I want to show you a little trick that I learned at Riot. And that was sharpening edges in your color will automatically make your picture look a lot more finished than it really is, right? And it actually doesn't take any work at all. No work at all. And it just makes it look amazing. So I will demonstrate by showing you the zombies. The zombies! Let's go ahead and rotate this canvas vertical. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. And this is where my brushes come in handy. So again, if you're curious about these, there's a link down in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as on my DeviantArt page. Now let's see as the computer works its butt off to flip the canvas. And let's go ahead and go to the zombies. Alright guys, so check it out. Basically, this is with the sharpen layer on, and this is what it looks like with it off. Okay? Now I want you to notice just the little tiny things that happen there. You'll notice there's just sharp edges that have been introduced into the gradients, right? Like here it's like really, really soft. You can see the brush in it, right? And once you do this, it just looks like something about it looks finished. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Very, very simple. Create a new layer over whatever gradient or thing that you want to blend, right? And then you're going to pull out the Reptar brush. And then all you do is you just eyedrop. You just eyedrop a color, right? And you start kind of like blending, right? Start blending almost in like levels, right? And sometimes another thing that I like to do is like grab a color from over here, you know, I'll just kind of like stick it in there, right? That might be a little bit too much of a gradient there. But stuff like this, right? And I start creating like levels. Oh, I never thought about it like this, but it's like levels of color as opposed to the soft edges of the gradients. And that's how I start to gain this effect of it looking like it's done. When really all you're doing is you're just affecting the edges. Just affecting the edges. And you don't have to do it everywhere either. Just in a couple spots. Because when the eye sees sharp edges, it gives it the effect that, or it gives it the impression, at least for me, that it's just clean, that it's finished, you know, that it's precise. And when really all you're doing is you're just doing a little bit of a treatment to it. And you're cheating the system. Maybe not cheating it, but you're working the system. Working the system. So see, that's all I do. I just do that over and over again, and then eventually you have something looking like that. Brilliant, no? Let's go ahead and take this thing back. And the same thing applies to the ground. I'll show you what the ground looks like without that sharpened layer on it. That's going to be back here. And the layer is right here. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. You'll notice, see, sharp edges right in here. Just the gradations. I like to kind of push and pull the colors. This really helps to give a sense of motion, right? Because all those lines are like converging into the horizon. Really, really helps when you're doing stuff like that too. But again, let me show you what this looks like without it. Because I lost it. Okay, see? That's what it was before. You can see the softness and kind of the edges of the chalk brush right there. And then all I do with the overpaint is I just take the Reptar brush and I create some sharp lines in it. And you will not believe the miracles that will be wrought by that. I cannot believe how bad my voice has gone right now. I don't understand why it has gone. So, yeah. And then the last things that I did were went ahead and just put the finishing touches, the logo. I ended up redesigning the logo. Now it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. Right? Before, if you look at Emma issue 1, it's just like really scribbled and kind of like ugly looking. I decided that I wanted to have like a clean logo. And I was actually inspired because of the stencil that I had to make for the packages that I send out. Right? I'll show you. Those of you who have been ordering posters and stuff, I send them to you on these little cardboard things, right? And I had to create this stencil so I could just like spray paint stuff, because before what I was doing was hand painting every single one of them, and I wanted something to kind of speed up the efficiency and look a little bit neater and more professional. So I looked at that and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I could totally go for that. So I actually scanned it. I scanned it into Photoshop and just did a pen tool on it and just created a nice clean logo. So yeah, guys, any questions, any final questions, please ask them now. Forever hold your peace. Before we go on to the weekend, we're going to have a good time. Oh, I've only been going for half an hour. Feels like we've been going for a lot longer. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys the last little touches, the last little things that I like to do on a piece. And in the meantime, ask your final questions, and then we will end episode 92, continued, of the KNKL show. So, yeah, one thing that I really like to do now, or one thing that I always enjoy putting in, is the little logo, my little KNKL comics thing right there. And I actually had to darken the zombie's face behind it because it was like too bright. Like the contrast was like overpowering it. So I just put a little bit of a multiply mask on there. Lots of little tiny adjustments at the end just to make sure everything is reading properly. And you just drop your little issue counter in there, and the little, this is normally where the price goes. This is where you'd see like $2.99 if it was at Barnes & Noble. And all the names of the awesome people that helped me work on this. And you got the ISBN barcode. Somebody asked me if this was real, like if I had to register this with somebody. I was like, no, it's just for show. Eventually it'll have a real barcode, but for now it's just put there to make it feel like it's a real comic, right? Even though you're reading it online. And then I put a little signature down there, right? And then the last thing that I do is actually put a tiny little gradient right over here. And this is something, again, it gives you that feeling that it's almost like a cover. It's almost like a real cover of a comic that's been scanned in. Because if you Google like comic book covers that have been scanned, they have like this little like gradient kind of coming from the edge where the light catches when it's getting scanned in the computer. So yeah, it's like little teeny things like that. You can put like some wear on the edges. I don't know. But yeah, that's all for later. That's all for later. All right. People are asking some good questions over here. I'll do my best to answer them while my voice is fading. Let's go ahead and get that epic outro music up right now, too. All right. Mark Dotia is asking, would I recommend any books for anatomy? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I would recommend some amazing books for anatomy. Well, let's see, books for anatomy. I mean, there's tons of really, really good books on anatomy. I can't remember many of them right now, but I think there's one that's like really in depth that like shows all the muscles and all the skeletal structure and everything. I think it's called like the Atlas of the Human Body, or Human Body Atlas, something like that. It's really, really cool. But after you if you like to learn all the technical stuff, that's really cool. But any comic book or any book that deals with creating anatomy for comic artists, I think is really nice because it really simplifies a lot of stuff, and that really, really helps me because I still struggle with a lot of, muscles, especially in like the torso area, like how the armpit like connects to the back, and like what's happening like in here with how the muscles are like crisscrossing and all that stuff. There's like tons of things that I still have to learn about human anatomy, and anything that can like make it more simple is definitely a good thing in my book. So yeah, try to find stuff that simplifies it. All right, next question coming in from Coleman Reyna. He's asking, how do you gain the confidence to do what you do in front of the camera? It's definitely, it's not just confidence, it's just experience. I've been doing this probably for, I don't even know, maybe like a year and a half, maybe more. I can't remember exactly when I started the KNKL show. I'd have to go back and look. But I've been doing this for a while now. And I still get anxious and I still get nervous in front of the camera. But the point is that I kind of know how to just step past it, right? And I know how to just go with it, right? Just use it to my advantage. Almost like transmute the energy into something that I can use to give some sort of an entertaining experience. So, yeah, don't expect, like, for people that want to do their podcast, people that want to speak publicly, that was why I started this show, because I wanted to get better at talking to people. I was very, very shy, very, very timid and scared. I would never open my mouth, right? But I wanted to get confident. I wanted to get that confidence to just really speak publicly and get my words out. And I'm still getting good at that, as you can tell. But I will triumph, and I will give speeches to thousands, hopefully, about how you can do it. Well, who knows? I mean, I am already, on YouTube, but I want to give speeches in a football stadium, right? And be like, Yeah, like playing football, right? I'd be like, run to the touchdown, like spike the ball. Then they hand me a microphone and I give a big speech about how everybody can become comic artists because I did it, and you can do it too. Alrighty then. I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. I do apologize again, like my voice is completely killing me, but I hope that you guys enjoyed watching the beginning to the end of creating our amazing comic book cover. This is just as much my piece of work as it is yours. Let me get this freaking glitch out of here. This is just as much my work as it is your guys', and I appreciate your guys' help, helping me to get this done, all the editing, and just having a live audience being able to help me choose all this stuff and be a part of it, I think is really, really special. So thank you once again for joining me live on Ustream all these times. People on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Kienan Lafferty. I'll see you guys on Monday for another, actually I don't even know what we're going to be doing. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I'll see you guys Monday. You have a great weekend, and until next time, take care.